Good afternoon, everybody. We'll get started in just a few moments. We're going to give everybody an opportunity to get in, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. Looks like we got most people already in, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here for our welcoming webinar for Phase 1 participants of NC-SIS, powered by Infinite Campus. We're glad to have you on board here today. This is our second webinar. We had one earlier in the week on Tuesday, but we appreciate you being here today. In the chat of your teams here, will have that open up with some additional information. We'll share the slide deck with you too, but if you would please, you're signed in just a little bit. We want to make sure you sign in today so that we can get information back to you as we move forward. But the link you see on the very first page here is also in the chat, gives you a copy of the welcoming webinar too as well. And again, we just welcome you to be a part of here today. As we look at the next slide, I think it's very evident for us to think about what success is as we talk about a new SIS. And I think it's an awesome opportunity for improvement. And I know sometimes that also creates anxiety too when we think about change. And what does success really look like? And we know that if we had our dream, it would be on the left-hand side here. But in reality, sometimes it looks a little messy as we're doing success. But as we're going through this brand new change of switching over to Infinite Campus, I want to reframe to the next slide here that shows you a little bit more about what I believe what we're going to be doing here together, and that is cultivated success. And so as we're working together hand in hand with Infinite Campus, but also you from the PSU side, we're going to make sure as we do this journey, we're going to do this journey together. And so I believe that already we've had an awesome steering committee, RFP team looking at this, and we got some additional layers of support to be able to support each other as we move forward. But that is our plan for Journey to Success. If you're like me, you have been a part of other SIS implementations, some that have gone well, some that have not gone as well as we would wish they had gone. And so I think we learned a lot of lessons from the past, and we're also been in talks with many of you too as well. Leading your initiative are two people here at DPI. One is Rob Dietrich, who is working on everything internally for the NC-SIS conversion. And then that's me, Matthew Mayo, here with you today. I will be your point of contact for all things external, working with you at the PSU level over the next couple of years as we go into NC-SIS with Infinite Campus. As we move through this, we're super excited. Hopefully you've had a chance to meet our brand new Office of SIS Professional Learning. We know that this has been a huge need for a long time, and we're excited to be able to have this coupled with our new SIS. We know that you have a lot of turnover with your data managers, and we know you also need some professional learning. And so heading this up is Ms. Roy Spicer, and so she's our section chief leading this team, and I'm going to turn it over to her to introduce her team as well.
Thank you, Matthew. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Rory Spicer. I'm very excited to be working with this team to help you through the support process for the implementation. I come from Cumberland County Schools, where I worked as a power school trainer, and I was there almost 20 years. And I will let Nicole Balance introduce herself.
Thank you, Rory. And good afternoon, everyone. I bring you greetings from the Northeast, more specifically Hereford County, where I served as the SIS coordinator for approximately 11 years. And prior to that, my experiences have been as a school level data manager, providing support at the high school level, the middle school level, and the elementary level.
Good afternoon. My name is Erin Foyle. Oh, thank you. I'm Erin Foyle. I came from Davie County, where I was the SIS coordinator there for 21 years. And so I'm very excited to be a part of this team.
Hello, I'm Leanne Holmes. I come from Moore County Schools, where I worked for 11 years as an instructional technology facilitator and a specialist with the Planning, Accountability, and Research Department.
And we're also lucky enough to have Ms. Cami Naren on our team, who works with DPI and has been in various departments and has a lot of expertise in professional learning. Next slide, please, Nicole. All right, we're going to go over today's agenda. If you will see up at the upper right-hand corner, you have that please sign in. If you click on that blue link right below that, please make sure you sign in for today's session. Down at the bottom, you'll also see the welcoming webinar question form. If you click on that link, it will open a question form. So throughout this presentation, if you have a question, go ahead and enter the information there. There are some different categories you can choose from: general, a question about resources, conversion, or training. What we'll cover today is what to expect next. So Infinite Campus will explain the next step in the implementation process. And then Erin from our team is going to talk to you about conversion and preparation. And then I'll go over some training and resources available to you. Then we'll have some question and answer time. All right, so this is a map of our Phase 1 PSUs. We have 132 participants for Phase 1, and you can see the blue areas there are the participating LEAs, and then the orange are our charter schools. Our team will reach out to you to let you know who's going to be supporting you throughout this process. We are still finalizing those areas, and as soon as we have that finalized, we will reach out with you personally, either through email or phone call.
Thank you, Roy. As I've said many times, as we've had our digital leaders exchanges and other special events, especially like our statewide call even today, this is a true partnership. It's a partnership with you from the PSU level and a partnership with Infinite Campus. And so we're super excited about this as we join forces together. And so before you had the next call of implementation from Infinite Campus and your regional professional development consultant as well, we wanted to take this time to really just introduce you to Infinite Campus as well. So with us today is Kylie from Infinite Campus, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what's next and what to expect. Take it away, Kylie.
Thanks, Matthew. Hi, my name is Kylie LaFontaine. I'm with Infinite Campus. I'm acting as the project manager at the state level, but all of the PSUs are going to have an assigned project manager that you're going to work with, along with additional team members. So really our next step in this beginning of your journey with Infinite Campus is we're going to send you a welcome email to the designated contact. And with that welcome email, we're going to ask that you look from a few options that we're going to present in terms of scheduling what's going to be our first meeting, what we call the introduction to implementation meeting. From there, what we're going to really focus on, and yes, thank you. And then during that introduction to implementation meeting, you're going to have an opportunity to meet virtually your project manager that you're going to be with through the entire implementation process. We're going to discuss some of the implementation process key points so you have an understanding of all of the different stages that you're going to be working through with us, along with collecting some key scheduling points. And this really helps us to begin our planning process for your implementation schedule. With that, we also confirm a lot of information and do introductions along with discussing next steps. So I think that's the most important item that we take away from that is for you to understand what's to come next so you can start working with your internal team members in terms of planning. So with that email, we're also going to be sending a nice implementation planning guide that really lays out what to do beyond just the implementation of the SIS. There's a lot of different factors that play into everything beyond just implementing your SIS with Infinite Campus. And then we're going to also talk through implementation dashboard that we use throughout the process and how to access that and the different places you can centralize your communications, upload files, and track the tasks through the implementation process. So it's a nice introduction meeting with your project manager to get, first introductions, and then from there we talk about next steps. So I'll hand it off to Erin to talk through conversion and preparation. So welcome to Infinite Campus.
Thanks, Kylie. Let's talk conversion. So as Kylie said, your conversion team will be getting in contact with you. You'll have an implementation project manager, as she said, but also a data conversion analyst, SIS training specialist, and a business consultant. They're going to help you work through all the different things that you do in your PSU that might be individual to you and make sure that your conversion is the best for your PSU. So you'll go through this period of discovery where you'll talk about all these different business processes. And then if you'll go to the next slide, you're going to start talking about data. So the data that you have in PowerSchool, you will be exporting yourself, and then you'll be putting it up in that dashboard that Kylie talked about. 7 years of historical data will convert. So that's 7 years of students and their historical data. We are working right now to provide a layout and a guide to help you through all of the exporting that you'll be doing, but also you'll have some other layers of support from us and from DPI. So once you load that data to the dashboard, they'll use that data to create a trial instance. You'll get to look through it and make sure everything converted correctly. You might make some changes on your next export. And then once you are happy with that data, then you'll approve it and you will get your production site. After you get your production site, your sandbox and your staging sites will be created. So what can you do to prepare now? First thing is addresses. If you were with us at DLE, we did talk about addresses being very important because it is one way that you can create households for your families. So all of your students are connected to their various members that they live with through a household. And one way we can do that is through addresses. So if you start going through your addresses now and you look to make sure that they're correct and that they are also together. So meaning that they're identical between, if you live in the same house, you should have the same address. Also with contacts, so you'll want to look at those addresses too to make sure that they match. Contacts, we know that duplicate contacts are an issue, so continue to consolidate those duplicates. Ensure that those relationships are accurate with students. Also, as we're going right now through and making our timelines for scheduling, you'll want to make sure that your master schedule timeline allows for your high schools and your middle schools to be finished with using Power Scheduler and committed obviously before EOY. Elementary schools, if you'll copy your master schedule over, and then you can edit that and roster students into classes after you come up in Infinite Campus. Like I said before, there will be 7 years worth of data that does convert. So you'll need to start thinking about what you want to do with the data that is older than 7 years old. We'll be working on a list of data pools that you might think about doing, but you'll need to think about where to host those inside of your PSU and anything that you might need for any kind of data analysis. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Rory to talk about some training and resources.
Thank you, Erin. All right, we're going to talk about some upcoming training that's available to you. So first we have the SIS admin training with Mastering Campus, where you want to register for that for either the week of April 8th through the 12th or April 15th through the 19th. So you're just going to choose 1 week. You can click on the register and that will take you right there. Please make sure that if you need hotel accommodations that you are registering by February 16th at 5 p.m. That way we can ensure that you do have hotel accommodations. And that is limited to 1 person per PSU. Next slide, please. There's also an informational session available at NC Ties, and this is going to be a free session available to everyone, and it will be from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. We're finalizing that agenda right now, but what it looks like is we're going to have an informational session where we're going to ask you all ahead of time, what are your top 10 questions you have about Infinite Campus? And then we're going to take those questions, come up with the answers for you to present to you, as well as a crosswalk document and a recommendation of how you can lay out training for your data managers, attendance clerks, and any of your SIS admin users. Then we will have the NC Bold 2024. That'll be in July. We'll have 2 sessions. So one will be the week of July 15th, and then the following will be July 22nd. And we will have data manager training there, both for PowerSchool and for Infinite Campus. So for any of you that would like to help present the PowerSchool training, we greatly appreciate it. Please feel free to reach out to me and email me and let me know that you'd be interested in doing that. And then we will also have additional live webinars. So look for those to come. And then our team will be your additional layer of support also, where we are planning on trying to host some regional data manager training for you as well. Next slide, please. All right, so your resources. After today's session, you will begin to get more information, as Kylie told you. They'll be reaching out. You'll have a team to help you through the process, as well as you'll get access to Campus Community and Campus Passport. So this is all the good stuff that Infinite Campus has, where all their training resources, they have video and documents, so you'll get access to that. You'll have your implementation team from Infinite Campus. You'll also have that training site where you can go in and look at your data and test things. And then, of course, you'll have our newly developed team that we're super excited to be working with you all and supporting you all. Also coming soon is a weekly Phase 1 bulletin. So this will be a bulletin that we send out once a week that'll have training resources. We'll have some of that crosswalk documentation in there, where we're going to have the terminology that Infinite Campus has to help make things smoother in your understanding of Infinite Campus. We're also going to create an advisory board where we will ask for some participants from PSUs to give us feedback and suggestions on how to make the process better. And we are still working on that crosswalk document, so we're learning things every day. So we're going to be adding to that. I'm going to ask Nicole to click on that, how you can subscribe to the NCDPI DTL bulletin. So this is a Tango that you can go to, and this is a way that you can sign up to get weekly information, so newsletters and bulletins. So if you go ahead and click on that Guide Me, it does take you to the NCDPI DTL website. And once you're there, you want to go down and scroll to the communications icon. And if you click on that, it takes you to where you can subscribe to the bulletins and the newsletters. So if you click on that blue link there, it's going to have you enter your email address. So once you enter that, you can click on Submit. Give her just a second here and enter a password. And then once you do that, it's going to give you all of your options of the newsletters and bulletins you can subscribe to. So there is the weekly CIS bulletin that you can choose, as well as others. So that's a great way to keep informed. All right, we go back to the presentation. Yes, click on Submit at the very end, and you will get an email notification that allow you, tells you what you have subscribed to. So you'll be able to see all your choices that you selected. All right. Also, if you have any questions, you can email us at the ncsis@dpi.nc.gov site. And also, if you click on the link at the bottom there, it's how you can stay up to date on the latest NCSIS information. So it has all of your changes. If you look at the professional learning tab up at the top, you'll have your information there for all the upcoming training sessions, as well as your support team. So if you click on the NCDPI support team, there you'll have all of our information, as well as how to contact us. Please keep in mind, we have not assigned who's going to be supporting which region, but you will get that information soon, and we will reach out to you personally to provide that to you. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Matthew for some questions.
Yep, absolutely. So we have a list of questions here that you guys have made. And so just know our very first webinar on Tuesday, we had about 15 pages of questions, and we're almost finished answering most of those questions, and we're going to get those out to you. If you were a part of our session on Tuesday, we're going to combine all these questions together so you can have one nice document to get your questions answered. So some of the questions I see, will you be able to enroll students from another PSU and IC if they have not been released? That answer is yes. What will we be able to see more about IC for specific roles, such as teacher, guidance, and counselor? We're getting lots of questions already about trying to create one-pagers. We're working with Infinite Campus already on trying to get some of this documentation out to you. So our comms department here is working with their comms department as well. And so hopefully that information will be out to you pretty soon. We'll be able to use Infinite Campus for annual forms. Yes, that's a great part of the enrollment process. So you're going to love it, being able to have all this stuff in one nice place. So yes, will we be able to enroll students from another PSU if they have not been released? The answer to that is yes. So you're be excited about that too, as well. What's the ETA on when we will find out our implementation project manager? This process will begin next week. Infinite Campus is ready to hit the ground running. So we wanted to have this webinar to kind of make sure you knew what was coming next. And so obviously with 132 PSUs, as they're working through that list, it's going to take some time to get through those. But that process does begin next week. And so you'll be seeing Infinite Campus and your assigned professional SIS person as well moving forward. Can we send more than one to training? The answer right now is no, it's one. However, if there is additional space available, we're going to send that out to you after February the 16th, and we'll let you know if we do have extra room for that. We know that everyone is anxious and everybody wants to see everything, and we are really asking that the SIS admin, the one who is in the SIS all the time for your PSU, to attend this. So I realize that creates a little anxiety for directors and other people who want to see things. Hang tight. There's lots to see, and you're going to get a lot of more information as we start this implementation process in the coming weeks. I also know several of you, as I shared at the Digital Leaders Exchange last week, said, hey, this April date is way too far away. Well, we are working off of all the great experience that we have with Infinite Campus. And so there's a lot of work to be done before this training. And so we didn't want to give you training and then you forget it and then you had to go back through it. So we're doing the tried and true methods that Infinite Campus has already in place. And so trust us, we're moving right along in the right direction here. Can schools go ahead and schedule students in the 24-25 if we copy the schedule over? The answer to that is yes. Will NC Bold IC training be all week or just a few sessions? If you're familiar with NC Bold is 2 weeks of training by the PSUs for the PSUs. And so during those 8 days, we go into 8 different regions. And so it is a repeat. It's like Groundhog Day 8 times. And so we're able to deliver the same professional development over 2 weeks. And so what we have learned from the field from you all last week in the Digital Leaders Exchange, you asked for us to do session specific instead of one all-day training. And so we're going to do exactly what you asked. We're going to chunk these things up into different sessions so that it can be personalized to meet the needs of you guys moving forward. What departments should be involved in the initial implementation meeting? This is going to vary by PSU. We have large PSU, small, medium. We have charters that are small as well. And so as you're looking through this lens, I think the biggest thing for is having the SIS admin, possibly the supervisor of the SIS admin, lead data managers. You're going to need to really work within your team locally to decide, make those decisions together, who's going to be a part of that. Obviously, there's going to be a need for curriculum and instruction to be a part of that too. That is coming down the pipe when we start talking about the grade book, LMS pieces, and other additional items that are available too as well. So as much as I know people don't want to hear the word hang tight. It's all coming your way. Will they be able to enroll? We've already answered that one. Will there be training for the health module? And will it have some of the same features as the Power School? Yes. The answer is yes. This is the $1 million question. Will we also have access to the LMS? Will this support competency-based learning and grading? The answer to the second question is yes. The answer to the first question is, if you remember correctly, we have already sent information out to you all to get feedback from the LMS, what you wanted to see specifically. So Kylie and I are getting ready to schedule this webinar for the LMS. I know you guys are in the middle of contract season, trying to figure out what's best for you and your PSU. And I'll say it again, you know your PSU best and how much change can take place at a time. And so we're going to get this information out to you as far as the webinar about the LMS, so you can get a sneak peek into this. You guys gave us great feedback on what you wanted to see. So Tony is our trainer, along with his team, and they will be getting with us in the hopefully by next week, we'll be able to get those dates out to you so you can see a deeper dive into the LMS and make the decisions. We get it. You're at Esther Cliff and trying to figure out what to do as we move forward. So that is coming your way. So we only need to have data managers attend the one day of the week or during NC Bowl, trying to plan budgets and employees to plan to attend. So we hear you about the data managers from just like last week with the Digital Leaders Exchange. So this would be a one-day training for them. We'll have a new data manager training for phase 1, which will be Infinite Campus focused. And then we'll have another one that will be around PowerSchool for those of you that are in phase 2. We're not going to cover policies and procedures as far as your local PSU. We know everyone does things a little bit different. We're going to stick to the exact rules and regulations from the state. Roy and her team last year did a phenomenal job during the summer delivering this training, and so we're going to mimic some of the exact same things. So we realize that you guys need some flexibility with some of the process and procedures that you do, but as far as the policy goes, the policies are very straightforward, so we're going to focus on those too as well. What we're going to do with the additional questions that you guys put in there, feel free to continue to ask more questions in there. We're going to send you a comprehensive document early next week of today's questions and Tuesday's questions, so you'll have all of them together. We'll also send you the recording of this webinar too, because we realize everyone may not have been able to make these 2 dates. And I highly encourage you to look at the slide deck. Remember what Roy said about the phase 1 bulletin that will go out weekly. That's a great way to get everyone connected as we move forward. We're excited about this partnership. It's been great so far working with Infinite Campus, and they have been blown away by your support too at the PSU level too. And so last week was really eye-opening for them to kind of see the partnership that we have with you all at the PSU level, and we thank you as well. So you got a great professional learning team here at DPI. You have a phenomenal one as well with Infinite Campus. So together we are set for success, and we look forward to working with you all as we move forward. Thank you so much for attending today's session. And we'll follow up in an email early next week with all these wonderful resources to give your way and more to come. So thank you so much for attending today. Y'all have a great day.